Hello guys, GamingDad56 here, and welcome to another episode of the $10 million challenge. Here I'm looking down on some logs. We spent a good portion of last episode cutting down tons of trees and delimbing them. So now it is going to be our job to get them torn up into wood chips. And to do that, I have leased this wood chipping machine, the Gens BA725. It's actually a vehicle itself, so you can get into it. You have to transport it with, something else, a tractor or something like that. But to actually control it, you get in it. And so now I've unfolded the front. Here I'm unfolding the back, and that's all set up to work. We can raise and lower this, which I think is pretty cool. Now what we're going to do, we're actually going to tip all this into a big pile. And we're not going to do that just yet, because there's one thing I want to do first, which is check on the silage. So we've got to find the truck. Here we go. At the silage pit, I wanted to come check on this and see how it's doing. 100%. So our next task, one of our next tasks, is going to be to open up this silage pit and sell the silage. That's going to be a good one, because that's going to get us tons of money. Alright, back to the farm. So I have this New Holland tractor, and he's going to be the one I'm going to use to pick up all the logs. Let's get this thing fired up. So there's a couple things you have to do. We put the pipe out. We have to start it up, first of all. Okay, now it's started. You can't hear it, but it is actually started. Then you have to hit left control I to unload here. And that kind of will start the belt on its unloading. Now, it's not doing anything right now because we don't have it going. But if I turn it on, as soon as there's wood in there, it will actually start, you'll see the wood chips coming out the back end. So what we need to do here is, okay, we took the bucket off. We need to hook on the log fork. There we go, so we can actually see. Okay, log fork is hooked on. One more thing we need to do, which is go add on a rear weight. These trees are heavy, and since we're going to be grabbing the entire tree, we're going to need weight to balance that out. There we go. Alright, there we go. Let's go test this setup out. Probably not the best spot. You do have to kind of try to grab these in... It's not the middle, because the one end is much heavier than the other, but you do have to try to grab them in the right place. And this is still about the easiest way to do it. Let's see if we did it. Yeah, not bad. It's, okay, so we didn't quite do it. It's not always ideal doing it like this, but it usually works. The biggest problem is with when you get really big trees like this one, trying to control the thing and keep it from hitting buildings is challenging, to say the very least. Let's try to keep it far enough away from that building. Then we got to turn this whole thing. Whoa, we're losing it. We're losing it. We no longer have it hooked. Yep. Let's turn it around. Try to re-grab it. That did not work as I intended. Alright, there we go. Oh, don't open that. Don't need that. Let's try this again. Okay. I think we may have found a better balance point this time. Nope. That is false. So what we're trying to do is get this generally aimed at the machine, close to the machine, hopefully. If I lift it up high enough, can I get that end up off the ground? No. No, I cannot. Alright. This is not going quite as well as I'd hoped. Alright. Now it shouldn't matter too much if we grab it too close to this end, because we should be able to lift it up and into the wood chipper. Whoa, way too close. Alright, there we go. Except we're too close to the wood chipper now. This is where I need to have it grabbed the whole time. You gotta fit that end right into the wood chipper. It does have like a conveyor belt, so once you kind of get the log on there, it'll kind of grab it and push it into the wood chipper on its own. So it doesn't have to be perfect, but you do have to get it pretty close. Okay, there we go. Now it's grabbing the log. And we're just going to lift it up just a little bit. It's almost grabbing the log. Almost. Whoa. Go the other way. Once you get this to work, it works pretty well. I am having a tough time getting it to work at the moment. That's right. Pick that up. There it goes. So there you saw it eat some of it. You see the wood chips shooting out of it, and they're going to start creating a pile on the ground. That's kind of what we're going for, except I want this to start taking the entire log. Which it does not want to do. Should just start sucking the log in. Yep, there it goes. You can see it moving along there. Now, I am not going to subject you guys to all of this. What we're going to do is cut a bunch of... And we're moving. Okay, I guess we'll just stay in here. We're going to cut a bunch of the logs here. And then we're going to take this up to the other area by field 13 and cut all those logs up there. But I'm going to try to time-lapse most of the cutting of this. So, to save you guys that from watching this excruciating process. Trust me, this does take a while. Even when things go well, it takes a while. So, I'll go ahead and start time-lapsing it, and I'll come back when we're ready to move this thing. Alright, I think that is quite a good time lapse. As you can see, this is a very time consuming process. That nice long time lapse you guys had, we're still not done with this area. But I didn't really feel like leaving you on a time lapse for the entire episode. So I decided I would come back and I'll finish some of this off screen so that you guys can see something else in this episode. So you get an idea for how the process works. Basically, once you've cut the wood down, load it up, stick it in the front of this thing. It's supposed to, in theory, catch the log, pull it along into the chipper. It works about half the time. If you can get the log to the point where it's balanced, that's why I usually stick it in heavy in first. If you can get the log to the point where it balances, then you can come along and just push it in, like so. And eventually it'll get to a point where it starts actually sucking it in completely on its own, and you don't need to nudge it anymore. Every once in a while, as you guys probably noticed, you do have to come along and move the wood chipper forward. It'll just, these piles will keep working up and working up and working up, and then, eventually you gotta move it so it can start creating a new kind of pile. So anyway, now that you guys see how the process works, you've seen a good bit of it, you've seen a nice long time lapse, I am going to finish the rest of this area off screen, and I will come back to you guys when we move the wood chipper up to the area by field 13. Alright guys, here we are back. We have now turned all those trees into wood chips, and you can see this is the wood chip pile. It is quite substantial. So we need to turn this thing off, fold it up, off, fold, fold. Once it's all folded up, we should be able to hook it onto the back of the tractor and take it up to the other area where we have to cut trees. I have no idea how much is in those stacks, or in that pile of wood chips. I hope it's a lot. I could tell you it probably is a lot, but I can't really put a number to it. Nice thing about this weight, you can hook a tractor to it, or a trailer to it. Up we go. I'm sure this is not putting excessive weight on the rear axle of this tractor whatsoever. Also, while we were working, we hit the next growth stage. So, we have this field, all of our fields basically are in the final stage of growth. This field could be harvested already. I forgot that guy was supposed to be doing that. Where is he? That would be him. Should probably get him going again. We may not. Now we have to check. Yeah, see, it's going to be tight. We've got to get another fertilization on all of these fields. But this one, we may not get it. Because we hit the next growth stage. We're in the last final growing stage before it's harvest ready. Although with corn, if you're going to chop it for silage, I think I actually could harvest that now. There's so much going on right now. And normally I would drop what I'm doing and go start harvesting that field, since it will take a while. But I have this big machine leased, and I don't want to be paying a bunch of money for that I don't need to. The big question here is, where in the world are we going to put these wood chips? I don't want to cover up any of the grass, because that was kind of part of the reason for cutting down these trees, so we could get to the grass. I don't want to stick it in the middle of the road or in the middle of this dirt pathway, because I use this a lot for silage. So I think what we're going to do is actually put it right here on this dirt pathway. going to set it up right here. And we're going to have another go at this. We're going to make another large pile of wood chips. Alright. Detach. Let's get this thing set up. And we will get going. And I'm going to go ahead and cut this again. Just because it's a ton of work. There we go. Left control I. And it is set. So, I will come back when all the trees that we cut down over here are chopped up. And you can see what that pile looks like. So I'll see you then. And here we are, wood chipping the very final tree of this entire area. So you can see back behind me, we cut down those 5 trees that were 5, 6, I think, trees that were right here. We also have picked up all of the trees from, let's see, way up in here and all down through here. So lots of tree picking up that happened. Lots of chopping up into wood chips. You can see if I get out here the good sized pile of wood chips we have here as well. I wish when you like climbed up on this or got close to it, it would show you how big this is, how much stuff was actually here. Something for them to they could add that to FS19. That'd be fantastic. Don't want to be in. There we go. We just need to shove the rest of this tree down the wood chipper. Get in there. The wood chipper up here, actually, I wish I'd have recorded that part for you guys. The wood chipper I actually got to work really well while we were up here. It was sucking in trees pretty good, unlike it is doing right now, where it's not wanting to pull it in and it's just kind of sitting there. I keep having to push it in. There it goes, finally. That'll finish this up. I did have to go fill this tractor up while we were doing this. We were down to about 14 liters worth of fuel. So we were pretty empty. Filled up though, and we are good. Now, since we have done all of that, we are going to, that's not what I wanted to do, return this guy before we have to pay any more money on it. Now, it'd be fun to see how much we get out of those wood chips, because we have a lot of wood chips from that whole adventure. I'll be really interested to see how much that ends up being. But right now, we need to go park this guy up. We do need to come back and get rid of all of these stumps, but this field to my left, field 13, that field is ready to be cut. I'm pretty sure. I think we can cut at this stage if we're doing it for silage. So I'm very, very much want to get going on that. Unfortunately, that's going to have to wait for next episode. We're not going to be able to do that in this episode. There's one wood pile, and there is the other. Just look at that. That is so many wood chips. One more thing I need to do. We're going to park this guy and get the log fork off. There we go. Shut him down. We need to take the weight off of him as well, but before we end the episode, I want to how he ended up way over here, I don't know. Fertilize field 15. I want to get him going on field 15. I really have no idea how he ended up over here. He was supposed to be fertilizing field 12 over there. Somehow he just continued along. I'm not really sure. Whatever. So 12 and 15 will be fully fertilized. Let's see. 14 already is fully fertilized. 13 isn't going to end up getting fully fertilized. Unfortunately. Whatever. It happens. And our silage over at the biogas plant is ready to be opened up and sold. So I'm really excited to do that. But first off, we need to I want to get set up for silage. Now, that's right. This trailer, which is, where is this trailer at? Right over there. That's the one we were using for silage. I was trying to think. I knew we didn't use that little guy for silage last time we did it, but couldn't remember what trailer we had. This guy works for silage. That's what we did. So let's get him. We're going to take him over to field 13. That way we will be ready to go for next episode when we are going to do our second silage harvest. I should just do silage harvest on this field too. Make the most out of it. We got all this silage, why not? Anyway, it's been quite the episode. I know you guys actually didn't get to see probably 90% of the work that went into that episode, but that's fine because you wouldn't have want to have seen that 90% of the work. It was just hauling trees around and trying to force feed them into the chipper, which became incredibly frustrating at times. But you did get to see the results, and that's kind of what we were going for there. All right, this guy is set. Shut him down. Let's go get the Rosselmosh. That'll make a good end to the episode. Until next time when I see you guys, I've been Gaming Dead 56 playing the $10 million challenge, FPS 17. If you have liked this episode, please like, comment, and subscribe. And share it with your friends. Until next time, see you later.